Hey friends, welcome back to Tracy's Rhythmic Life. Today I will finally be planting my pineapple starts here. So what I have here today is I'm alright. So today, well, let me start over y'all. Alright friends, now welcome back to Tracy's Rhythmic Life. Today I am finally planting my pineapple starts. Um I think a couple of videos back I showed you where I started a pineapple. And then maybe a month later, probably a little over a month later, I showed you where they finally started rooting. So now is the perfect time for me to go ahead on and get these in some pots. And actually this one is a second one that I was trying to root. I decided to go ahead on and just um, get it in a pot as well. It's, ooh, thought it was almost there, but I don't know if you can see it or not. It is trying to gain some roots. They will come out of these little knots here on the side. These little white little knots. That's where the roots will start performing from. But I'm gonna go ahead on and get these potted up, and I'm gonna show you this one here, the first one that I done. I know they say it take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks before you see some roots. Some maybe even sooner than that. I guess it depends on the climate or the weather conditions, because pineapples do grow in a hot or warm climate. So it's been cold here, and I've been kind of keeping it in indirect light. So I kind of almost gave up, but I just, held tight, and finally I did see some roots. So I have my two pots that I will be placing these in. You want them placed in a 8 to 10 inch pot because the roots do spread, as you know, as some of you may be aware, and if you're not aware, pineapple grows from the top. It will grow from the top here, and you will see pineapple. Once it starts producing a pineapple, it will come from this top here and not from the bottom. So and when you plant it in your soil, I guess they're saying keeping the crown here, I guess this brown part here, this is the only part that should be in the ground, and the rest of it should be kind of open. This is the one that you want in the dirt, in the soil. At least I hope I'm doing this right, but I think I am. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead on and get these up potted, get them in a pot, and definitely, because we're still in the winter months, these will be going inside of the house. I will keep it in the rooms that the temperature stays anywhere from 60 and above temperatures, and the soil that it wants you to start off with is just potting soil, no fertilizer right now, because I guess it'll at least you won't fertilize this until maybe 3 to 4 weeks after you have potted it, so that way the roots can go ahead on and get established in its new place. And then that's when you'll go back and fertilize just a little bit, not much. And during the spring months, spring and summer, and thereafter, you will fertilize once a month. You can use like a 10-10-10 or 5-5-5. You can use fish emulsion, and I think on fish emulsion you would use a lesser of the fish emulsion um, for these. And if you use a granular fertilizer, which is a slow release, you will use actually a smaller amount than you would normally use in some of your other vegetables. So we're going to go ahead on and get this up potted. I did not have any potting soil. So what I did use was some topsoil. I used some perlite, and it asks if I use compost, just a small amount of compost, because I think compost has some um, benefits to it. So it just want a small amount of that. And when I go back in and water, I will only just water the soil just enough to get it settled, and not just soaking wet, because the pineapple roots do not like to be soggy, just damp enough to kind of get it acclimated and get it going. So I already have that already in these two pots here. Let me show you what I have here. And I did add some soil, some not soil, some sand to this, because it did say you can use some sand, and I did mix some sand in this mixture here. You may see some rocks in here because when I scooped it up from the ground, it had a few rocks in it, but that's okay. That it all plays a part in helping with drainage. And if you see, I did not fill these pots all the way up, because like I said, as the pineapple grows, it will grow from the top and the roots will just spread. And I think both of these pots are kind of wide enough to so the roots can kind of spread out in that manner there. So let me go ahead on and get started, y'all. All right, guys, I already have my soil mixture already completed here. I'm just gonna work it some with my hands. Like I did say, I do have some rocks in here where I did scoop up some sand, and the sand helps with drainage as well as this perlite. The perlite is gonna keep the soil kind of loose. And once again, I will not fertilize these until maybe a month after I have gotten these planted and the roots begin to kind of get settled and get established. And so I'm not sure. Let's see if y'all can see me pretty good here. All right, yes. The roots here, when I place this in the root, I just hope that I'm doing it right. I'm placing it where the roots will kind of, or where they can kind of spread out in this manner here. And I'm gonna place it not deep in the soil. I'm just gonna place the crown part in the soil here. Just that bottom part that was rooting, that's the piece that I have covered. All right, let me get this other one, and then I will go back and water this. Now, like I said, this one here, it's beginning to want to start rooting. If you see those little white knots, let's see if you can see. You see those white knots there? Those will become roots. So once again, I'm going to place it in the soil, place an indentation, kind of just put soil right around the base of this. I'm going to pat it down, and then I will go back and water. And as you can see, I'm not using a whole lot of soil, because once again, this pineapple will grow from the top, the center here. Now, I do see some new growth here in the bottom of this. Now, I'm going to pay some attention to, because the way I did this one, does have some growth at the bottom here. And I'm just going to kind of pay close attention to this one, because you see how brown it is around the edges. So I would definitely pay close attention to this one here. And this one over here, it has some brown edges, but not as much as that one there that don't have the root yet. And you can see in the center where it has gained some new growth since I've been had it in some water, in a glass jar and some water. All right, guys, let me get a little water in the bottom of this, and then that will be it, y'all. Just, it's a quick process. The longest process is just getting them to root. And now planting it out, that's an easy peasy task there. Now my soil here is kind of damp a little bit, but I'm gonna add some water, just enough to moisten it, so it can get settled in place. And once again, these will be inside of the house, because pineapple grows in a warm climate, and so we are still in the winter months here. So they will be in the house in an environment that's pretty much stable anywhere from 60 and above temp, and I will have it in indirect light, and we'll go from there, y'all. And as pineapple um starts to emerge, well, I wouldn't say pineapple, but as the stems begin to emerge, I will kind of keep y'all updated with that. And I have done some more research on pineapples, that pineapples take at least a year, 2 to 3 years before you even finally begin to see a pineapple growing from this. So all I will see right now is just growth from these stems here. And then within like 18 months to 2 years, I will begin to start seeing the actual pineapple. And after I get my first pineapple, and then every year after that, I will gain another pineapple. It's just that first year, that first couple years, it's kind of hard or takes a very long time before it produces a pineapple. And after that year that you gain your first pineapple, then I think each year you will begin to get pineapples. So, all right, guys, let me go ahead on and kind of get these watered here. All right, guys, I just have a jug here, and I'm just going to water just to get the soil settled. I'm going to drop some water in the center here. All right, guys, thanks for coming along with me as I finally up-pot my pineapples for the first time. And this is a new journey for me and you as well. And so just continue to follow along with me as I give you a continuous updates on any progress that I have with these pineapples. And I will see you all on my next video. Have a fantastic day.